Hey everyone, it's Mystery Girl with Missy, and Missy. Just gonna give you guys some time to click in, and we'll get started. Hey Sally, did you watch it? Yeah, I'm kind of blown away right now though because it's only 3, and you heard in my last video how many I mentioned. So who's responsible for the other ones? Yeah, the 3 that they the 3 that they mentioned, those were the 3 that were found the same day as Shannon Gilbert. Yeah, but what my question is the hairs that they found, whether it be on, hey Kentucky Ghost Searchers, nice to see you here. The hairs that they found on the 3 bodies, one was on a belt, which was a binding belt, and the others were on the actual bodies. They weren't his hairs, it was his wife's hair. So apparently it says that the wife and the kids were out of the state when this happened. Why were her hairs there? It's great to have you here, Kentucky. Thank you so much for being here. I don't do too many lives, but this one was one that's close to home. And they only went back to 2010. What about 1996? It started in 1996. It didn't start in 2010. I'm so blown away, so blown away. And everybody that, talks about this guy, they say, no, he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He's a businessman, he's an architect. He had 92 gun permits. 92 gun permits. But not one of these murders occurred by gun. So, again, I don't know why that's important, but I'm really curious about the hair. The hair was his wife's. The hair was not his. They said she was out of state. Then what was her hair doing there? And the burner phones. I know they have the last burner phone. But they were also able to track the burner phone to his regular cell phone, and they were able to match that they were at the same exact location. So that had a lot to do with matching the burner phones. It's pretty crazy. Massapequa was a pretty nice area. So I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you. So the ones that they found was Amber, Maureen, and Megan. And they didn't mention anything about Shannon Gilbert. So I'm not sure if they're including her or not. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. What do you guys think about the hairs? They mentioned Melissa Bartholomew. If you weren't here for my last live, she was 24 years old. I'm questioning the wife. I don't understand. Like, his hairs weren't there. Why were hers? Especially if she was out of state. And apparently their supposed motive was torture porn. That's the supposed motive. And the cause of death, they're just saying it's homicidal violence. So I don't know if they have no further information but most of these girls were strangled. So maybe he's connected to these three, but not the others. So, like I said before, there's probably more than one because the MO is a little bit different. Yeah, so it was Melissa Bartholomew. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it was Melissa, Maureen, and Megan. So Melissa was 24 years old, 4 foot 10 inches tall, and 95 pounds. And she's one of the ones where the family received that vulgar phone call saying that he was going to watch her body rot. And then the other one was Maureen. And let's see, Maureen was 25, 4 feet 11 inches, 105 pounds. She was found in the burlap sack. Craigslist. So the connection with the Craigslist and the burlap, and it seems like they're all under 5 feet tall. She was a mother. She was the one that had the 2 children, and she had received the eviction notice and went back to working in the sex industry so she could keep a roof over her kid's head. And then the third one was Megan. And Megan, if you remember, she was 22. She was actually over 5 feet. She was 5 foot 5 inches tall and 145 pounds. Copycat, maybe? You know what? You're right. It could be a copycat. But Megan was taller and a little bit more heavy set than the other ones. She's the one. She had a 3-year-old daughter. Her pimp was in Brooklyn, New York. I'm trying to catch up on all this. I don't know. One of them was the one that had that was staying with friends, and they would actually set up people. They would set up a price, go to collect the money, and then one of the guys would show up and say, "Hey, that's my girlfriend. You know what the hell?" And then the guy that was coming to pay for sex would take off. So they would keep the money, but no services were given. So. But what do you guys think? What do you think about this press conference? I'm really curious what your opinion is. Now that belt that they found, the initials on the belt that they found a couple years back, it was a W and an H. And apparently the belts we used, hey Canny, the belts we used to bind the girls. So, but I am really, the one thing that I can't get past is the hair. I can't get past the hair. It wasn't his hair that was found on them. What they found for him, they tracked DNA through him through a pizza crust that they found in a garbage can. But his wife's hair was literally on the bodies. Something's not adding up there. Do you guys agree with me, or am I like losing my mind? you're confused with the hair too, right? I want to see so for the hair, okay, it says a hair was recovered from the buckle that was binding Maureen Bernard Barnes. So that was on the buckle, and that was the wife's hair. Okay, so that was on Maureen. Then 2 female hairs were found on the body of Waterman, okay, whose body was bound by tape. So that's 2 hairs from the wife on Waterman. Now, another female hair was found on the body of Amber Castillo based on DNA. Again, it's the wife's hair. So if the wife's hair is on each of the bodies that was found or traced by this new DNA that they're using, mitochondria DNA is what they used, and it's the wife's hair, why is he arrested? And how do they know for sure that her and the kids were not in the state? Yeah, they might have planned a vacation or something, but do they have photos or proof or plane ticket that she actually left and arrived and came back? I mean, anybody can get a plane ticket, but did you come back? You know, I don't know. This is crazy to me. It's 7 different burner phones. So if they found 3, if they're connecting him to 3, that means there's 4 more that he might be connected to. See, and all of this could have been done years ago if that chief, James Burke, didn't prevent the FBI and investigators to look into this. This is so crazy that these families had to wait. Right? She's got to be somehow into it. Like, I don't know. I mean, exactly. What do you need so many burner phones? Well, the burner phones were to set up the appointments with the worker, and then apparently he would get rid of them. So it wasn't traced to his cell phone. But what they ended up doing was comparing his location with his private cell phone to the tracing of the burner phone, and they were both at the same location at the same time. And that's how they tracked him that way. And they said that he was constantly Google searching the investigation of the Gilgo murders as well. So, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have after that. I don't know. They said that the burlap was not the type that would be used in a nursery, that it was camouflaged. And it's usually used for duck hunting. It's used to hide bodies because it's camouflaged, so it would blend right in. And Gilgo Beach, it's not one of the most beautiful beaches. So he planned on doing more since he had more burner phones. I don't know if he used those phones or not, and that they couldn't find them. So it could be that he had them, but they haven't located them. So I'm not sure. They're saying that there's a total of 16 murders. Where's the rest of the connection? Yeah. This is pretty crazy to me. And what's weird too, now I told you the first record of any connection to these serial killings was back in April of 1996. He got his architecture license in 1996, opening his office in Manhattan. That's quite a coincidence there. Those two, that's when he got his license, and that's when the murders began. Oh my God, poor Rudy cases. Oh my, I can't even keep up with that. Like, that's one I won't report on because it's so hard to know the truth from, you know, fiction, false, and I don't want to be involved in saying anything that shouldn't be said and something that's not right. So I rather just stay out of that one. But the Gilgo Beach murders, like I said, I grew up in Long Island. I was on that road all the time. And now, I know, every time we went, we were driving by those bodies. They were right there. And it's just an eerie feeling. Hey, Alan's Paranormal. Great to have you here. So, the beach area, like if you went down further, it's absolutely gorgeous. Hey, AJ, thank you. I'm so glad they caught him, but he's only one. He's only one. You agree about the wife. Yes, see? The hair. The hair is something that's getting me. It really is getting me. I don't know. Maybe they're looking into her. They're kind of being a little hush-hush. And they even said that they're keeping things under wraps because too many people get involved and start, doing research, and it actually interferes with the, what they're trying to find. I can't believe that after all of these years, though, they were still able to find hair. And through DNA, through new DNA, mitochondria DNA, they were able to connect it. That's crazy. And that they got him through a pizza crust. I mean, of all things, a pizza crust. But I can't get past the hair. I'm sorry. I mean, he's arrested, but the hair is definitely something that I have a lot of question about. I mean, they never mentioned Shannon, which I was really surprised. And they never mentioned from 1996 to 2010. Hey, Shannon, how are you? The arrest was actually made by the investigators of the task force. So they finally put a task force together. And the commissioner had actually surveyed the scene. Now, what I'm curious about too is, did they find all of this evidence in the areas where they found Shannon Gilbert's body? Was it in the same area? And if it was, why wasn't it found then? And that's because of interference. Yeah, I definitely think James Burke's interference had major reflection on this case. And you want to know what's weird? I don't know if you picked up on this, if you watched it, but what's weird is, what's his name? The client that she had that night, okay? That she went to his house and something happened and she freaked out and he wanted her out of the house and the cops were called. She was hiding, knocking on doors. The client that she went to that night actually had his attorney made a statement. The attorney, his name is Michael J. Brown, told reporters accusations against his client are extremely circumstantial. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. This is about Rex. Where did I put? There we go. Okay, so Joseph Brewer, he was her client that night. And he was one of the last people to see her. He praised the arrest of Rex. And him and his family convey their deepest sympathies to not only the Gilbert family, but anyone affected by these mass tragedies. Statement was shared by Brewer's attorney. So Brewer is the client that Shannon was with that night. And he still, all of these years later, has an attorney who's speaking for him regarding this case. It's very interesting to me. The attorney for Rex Heuermann, he said that he told reporters that accusations against the client are extremely circumstantial in nature. Rex was in tears and stated, "I didn't do this." His lawyer stated that he is distraught. Police do not believe all 16 known deaths are linked to the same person, but he is involved in 4 slayings. So I just can't get past the hair. What do you guys think? What did you get out of it? Yeah, it's just weird because I could picture myself, with my friends or my husband driving over the bridge to go to Robert Moses and, not even knowing that this was going on at the time, and thinking now, I was driving by them. Yeah, it's really messed up. It's really messed up. I mean, I don't know, maybe the husband and wife were in it together. I mean, it's possible that he had her hair on him, but again, if she was away, then her hair wouldn't be on him. And unless you're having direct contact with the tape, I can't see your hair getting stuck in the tape. I don't know, it's just a lot that's popping in my head right now. I'm definitely going to be curious to see where they go from here with this, because I still believe that the doctor and the chief had something to do with some of these murders, whether they were involved in covering them up or setting them up, or I don't know. Well, that's what I was just saying, Sally. His hair might have been on, her hair might have been on his clothes. But if he's using duct tape to bind somebody, how is her hair on that duct tape? I mean, I know, me wrapping a gift, I have long hair. Sometimes my hair gets stuck in the tape as I'm pulling it. How else would it get on the duct tape? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the police have looked into it and everything, but yeah, I just really can't get past that hair. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, they say that she was away, that she was on vacation, but I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. He did over 200 searches on the Gilgo Beach investigation. I guess he was trying to get an idea of where they were searching, what they were doing, and, in this case, not disclosing so much information to the media that, might have been good, because it wasn't out there for him to find out. But again, if it wasn't restricted by Sheriff Burke, all of this could have been found years ago. I don't know, AJ. They didn't say anything about fingerprints on the duct tape. They didn't mention fingerprints at all, I don't think. And his lawyer saying everything they have is circumstantial. I agree, Sally. That was a great question. Yeah, they're saying the only DNA that they had was the hair and the pizza. Yeah, they didn't mention fingerprints at all, right? I didn't think so. Yeah, but all the searches that he did was 200 searches of the Gilgo Beach investigation, as well as the victims' families. He was Google searching his victims' families, and then he was looking at violent porn. And like I said, he had 92 gun permits. None of these victims were shot, so permits doesn't mean he has 92 guns. But this task force moved really fast. I mean, they were put together, I think they said February of 2022. And by March of 2022, they had, a lot of this information. And I love that they're using a grand jury. Yeah, Amber Castillo was the one she set up the appointment to collect the money. And then when the meeting was supposed to occur between him and her, one of her guy friends, showed up and said, "That's my girlfriend," made like he was a boyfriend to make the client leave. And they said that the client was 6'4". He was a big man, glasses and dark hair. And they got the truck. They got the dark colored Avalanche, which was, I guess, some kind of a special edition. It was a 2010. It was identified that he had owned that truck. So, there's a lot of stuff putting him to it, but I just keep going back to the hair. They did all DNA testing on the family. The travel records showed that his wife and children were out of New York State. But they didn't mention, did they go somewhere with family and friends? Was it in driving distance where she could have drove and met up with him? I don't know. The stuff that's going through my head right now. I can't get past the hair. I mean, if these girls were fighting, he was a big man, 6'4", heavy set. He could hold down a 95-pound girl. But I don't do lives, AJ. It's so weird for me. But yeah, I don't do lives. It's so strange. Yeah, I can't. A 95, it would be easy for him to hold a 95-pound girl down. But if he's binding the hands and the legs, if he's taping up the legs, the girl's going to be able to fight with her hands. Or if he's binding the hands, she's going to be able to kick. So, in my opinion, somebody else had to be there. And I bet that's how that hair got there. He held them down, and somebody else did the binding. I don't want to accuse anybody, but they did say it was the wife's hair. So I'm not accusing, I'm just going with what authorities said. Does that make sense to you guys? If somebody's trying to bind you, if your hands are together, you can kick, right? I mean, I know, like, 6'4", heavyset guy, he could lay on top of her, but he's not going to be able to hold them down, wrap tape around their wrists, and then get, wrap tape around their ankles. There's no way he could have done it all on his own. One person had to be holding the victim down, and the other one had to be doing the binding. You guys agree? Like, I don't know. This is so weird to me. I don't know. I have a feeling that we're going to be hearing a lot more names within the next coming months. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I do think it's kind of, I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing that the client spoke up. It was almost like he was saying, I'm free. I think they mentioned that they did do a search on the vehicle, but I mean, it was so many years later. Again, that was a lot of things that were held up because Sheriff Burke wouldn't let the FBI in the investigation. So if that car was found and able to have been looked through then, what would they have found? Right? We keep going back to the wife. I mean, if you're in New York, in driving distance, you can go to Pennsylvania, you can go to New Jersey. I mean, there's so many different places you can go, in driving distance. And if she was with people, who's to say she didn't get in the car and drive back to New York? And the Long Island Expressway is right there. It's right there. So if she was out of state, honestly, that means nothing to me. If she got on a plane and was in California sitting on a beach, or in Florida sitting on a beach, that's something different. But two things. There's no way he was able to hold her and hold any of the girls and bind them at the same exact time, unless he knocked them out. They were unconscious. And why was the wife's hair found and not his? I mean, that's definitely a possibility. He might have knocked them out unconscious. I mean, might have, I don't know. I mean, you're talking violent rape videos that he was watching, and which is sick in itself. I can't even imagine, but maybe he killed them first. It still doesn't explain the wife's hair. For me, there will never be an explanation of the wife's hair. I mean, I understand it could have been on his clothes, but not close enough to be on the person's body and on the tape and on a belt. And if Chief Burke didn't hold up that investigation way back in 2010, I mean, we're talking 13 years now, There was no, if they would search the car now versus 13 years ago, that car has been cleaned many, many, many times. I actually don't even know if he still has it. But after growing up in Long Island, as a girl, you're going out, your parents tell you on the news, there's a serial killer, be careful, don't go out alone, make sure you're always in twos, always have each other's back, going to the beach. Who would think you would have to give an explanation of going to the beach? Going to the beach, what field are you going to? Make sure you stay where there's a group of people. Don't leave the beach alone. Don't stay until dark. Make sure you leave before it gets dark. I mean, this was all stuff that we were all told, especially as girls, when all this was going on. It was all over the news. And not knowing, as every time we went to the beach, we were driving by these deceased bodies. They were literally right there on the side of the road as we were driving by in the marsh. It's so creepy to me. Did you guys pick up on anything that I didn't? Yeah, I'm just blown away. Like, I still can't believe, like, when Reverend Robin Marie messaged me and she said, the Gilgo Beach, they got him. I was like, you, wait, what? I had to read it like 3 times because this is something I never thought I would hear. And like I said, that video I had prepared to make, I made it almost a year ago. I did all that research and just never made the video because it hurt too much to keep my neck down. And maybe there was a reason. I had it all for today, you know. That's I'm a firm believer in that. A lookout person, but I still can't figure out how you can hold somebody down and like bind their hands without them kicking you, or bind their feet without them hitting you with their hands. Because at one point, one part of their body is free, their hands or their feet. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go toss this around in my head a little bit. It's a little overwhelming. But thank you guys for being here. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, the like, subscribe. Please make sure you subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. It would mean so much to me to hit that 1,000. Not even monetization. I don't care about that. It would just be show me that I could do it. You know, it would be pretty cool. I want to thank my moderators, as always, for being here and helping me out with everything. You guys are the best. And oh, thank you, Shannon. Yeah, there's still so much of it that doesn't add up. And that hair, the hairs from the wife, that's not going to add up for me for a while. There's got to be a better explanation. There's got to be some kind of an explanation for that. I don't know. I'm going to toss that one around in my head for a while. And I think I'm going to come up with the same answer. Like, she had to be there. Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. All right, guys, I'm going to go lay down and get some rest. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being here. And as always, remember, every day's a mystery. Take care.